Hey, good evening, and welcome to another Through the Bible episode. Breakthrough Ministries, right? Now, this one is going to be, we've been going through the book of Proverbs, so we're on chapter 8, and I meditated on it today, and I studied it today, and so without any further ado, Proverbs chapter 8. The beginning of the chapter opens up with Lady Wisdom saying, "I'm lifting up my voice. Everyone foolish, turn in here. Turn in, because my words are perfect. They're true. There's nothing deceitful or bad in them. And everyone that understands knowledge knows that they're right and true." So basically, it's got a picture of wisdom just pleading with all the sons of men. And then it goes on to state that by wisdom the earth was laid, and by wisdom kings reign and nobles do justice. And it goes on once again to reiterate the fact that wisdom is the most principal thing, and that you need wisdom. And everything you get in life, the number one thing to get is wisdom. So, and then it goes into some really key verses that jump out at me. Once again, in the scriptures, it says that wisdom is to be chosen above rubies and above silver, and everything you can desire is not even to be compared with getting wisdom. And it says that wisdom was there, of course, when the foundation of the earth was laid, when everything was put in place, wisdom was there. And you can kind of look, and if you see someone, they designed a rocking chair or a car that's really well put together and well thought out and just well designed, you can say, "Now, those are wise people." Or you see a house and its layout is nice and its architecture is nice, you say, "The architect is wise and the builders are wise." Now, shouldn't we so much more look at the universe and the oceans and the plants and the animals, and just the circumference of the earth and the perfect distance it is away from the sun, so that it's got the perfect climate. If it was a little closer, we'd burn up. A little further away, we'd all be freezing to death. So we can say God used wisdom to design this earth. It takes wisdom to know how to put sand all around to prevent the ocean from just flooding out on all the continents. And there's so much intricacies to every living organism. It's way too complicated to have just bang happened without any thought behind it. Because when things happen, just random explosions or whatever, it's chaos. Things break apart. And no big random bang ever did anything organized and nice. You light a firecracker and you look at the end of it, there's no new organism there. So to really think that there's no intelligent person that designed and laid out, and with purest awesome wisdom laid out this world, someone has to be an utter fool to think that way. Okay, so now it continues to go into Lady Wisdom just pleading with people, right? And it says, "They that find me find life, but everyone that hates me loves death." So we know that if we seek God, and it says seek Him early, seek Him every day, seek that wisdom, because by wisdom kings reign, by wisdom nobles make decrees, by wisdom the whole circumference of the earth was laid out in the span of the heavens. So in everything we get, it's great to know in the book of Proverbs, God has set aside a book to just pour into us His wisdom, and it's there. And once again, it says that it's to be chosen over riches, over treasure, over everything you could desire. Seek wisdom first. Okay. And there's some other verses where people say, this kind of sounds similar to Jesus. Okay. Because it says, before the foundations of the earth, or I was there when the foundations of the earth were laid, and my delight was with the sons of men. Now we hear the same language echoed in the book of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and came and dwelt among us. So we see that God, that with Jesus being the Word of God become flesh, is parallel to back in Proverbs when it says, I was there in the beginning and my delight was with the sons of men. And we also know everything Jesus said. You could tell he just delighted to be with people. He didn't come to earth and associate with the kings and the nobles and the rich. He was out among the poor and the suffering, and he just delighted to be around us and to be with us. So a lot of people have drawn that parallel between that verse, that wisdom was there at the foundations of the earth, and wisdom's delight was with the sons of men. And that if we find wisdom, we find life. It's all a parallel to Christ. Christ was there before all this world was created. Christ's delight is with us. And if we find him, we find life. So once again, thanks for joining into a Through the Bible. This one basically was a synopsis, a recap of Proverbs 8. And once again in Proverbs 8, it just talks about Lady Wisdom crying out. So I got to go over one more thing again, though, before I end this one. If you have a child, I mean, think of it this way. How many women, mothers, have pleaded with their child? Hey, don't you go running with that wrong crowd. Hey, don't you go to that party and drink and drive. Hey, you stay away from those people. They're going to just, these people are trouble. How many parents have you heard just crying out to their children, hey, listen to my advice? As I studied Proverbs this time on this 30-day study, I'm hearing God's voice, fatherly voice, just crying out to all mankind, hey, follow my advice. Hey, hear me. Don't run with that crowd. Hey, find me, find life. You can hear his voice like a father pleading with a child. Hey, please don't turn the keys to that car after you've been doing shots of Jack. Please don't get in this business relationship with these people. Please don't get in a relationship with that girl. Please don't run with that crowd. So you can see that a parent's heart is just begging and pleading for their children to follow their advice. And it's the same thing in the book of Proverbs, only on a huge scale. It's God pleading with all humanity, come my way, please. It's like, it's like someone pleading with you, don't waste all your money at the carnival. Hey, just, pay your bills so your electric doesn't get shut off. Come home from the bar tonight, please. So, without any further ado, this is the recap. Number one, once again, Lady Wisdom. Wisdom personified as a beautiful woman is crying out from every hilltop and corner, choose wisdom. Number two, we covered that wisdom, once again, is to be chosen over riches, money. Anything you can desire cannot be compared with wisdom. And number three, we went into the analogy that many people have drawn in this chapter 8 about wisdom being there at the foundation, when the foundations of the earth were laid. Wisdom's delight is with the sons of men. They that find wisdom find life. All parallels of the Christ. The Christ was there before the foundations of the earth were laid, and was there. And then the Christ came and dwelt among us. The Christ delights in us and people. And they that find the Christ find life, right? Okay, and then lastly, the last recap point I went over is that it's just like parents crying out and pleading with their children to follow their advice. It's the same thing. God's spirit and voice is crying out through Proverbs, follow my wisdom. Follow me. This way ends in life, that other way ends in death. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great week. And we'll see you tomorrow with chapter 9.